a video review of the Hyatt Regency Vancouver in Vancouver, Canada. I'm Chris. This is the Traveling Princess. This is Topher. And we are going to tell you everything you need to know if you're planning to stay in this hotel, including the neighborhood around the hotel, the common areas of the hotel, and the inside of one of the rooms. And we'll conclude with our rating on a scale of 1 to 5 Tophers, our traveling panda, with us about how good this hotel is and whether or not you should stay here. Traveling Princess, who are you talking to? The Hyatt Regency Vancouver has 644 rooms across 35 floors. When it was built in 1973, it was the tallest hotel in Vancouver. It's located in downtown Vancouver's central business district, right across the street from the Burrard station. From here, you're really in the center of all that everything downtown Vancouver has to offer, whether you're here for leisure, for work, or a convention. As you enter into the Hyatt through the rotating doors on the right, you come into the open 2-story lobby in the backside facing the street. Maybe you'd call it the front is a Starbucks, open mornings until late afternoon. Just on the other side is the hotel's check-in area, kind of a dark, uninspiring space, but good news, it was really no line while we were there. Now, just outside on the ground floor is the hotel's tasting bar called Grain. You could think of this as like modern pub food. Think chicken wings, sliders, and hummus. Up on the second floor is the hotel's second restaurant called Mosaic, currently only open for breakfast. It's been named one of Vancouver's places to dine, so I think it's usually open for more things, but if you have breakfast included in your room or you just want to buy breakfast, this is the spot right now. We found all the breakfast here to be pretty tasty. In particular, I really enjoyed the Eggs Benedict, and the view from this restaurant was quite nice. Mosaic also has a bar, but at the time of this review, it was not open. And if the hotel eating options don't strike your fancy, you'll find 2 24-hour options right next to it. A 24-hour Tim Hortons, which is a donut and sandwich store, Canadian style, and a 24-hour McDonald's. In that same shopping mall with McDonald's and Tim Hortons, you'll find a few other necessities. You'll find a drugstore, you'll find an ATM, and of course, a place to play the lottery. Just down one more level, you'll find a pretty extensive food court. And if you're in the mood for Chinese food, you'll find the Victoria Chinese restaurant down here too. And if for some reason you didn't bring an umbrella to the shopping mall, well, you can get an umbrella from Umbra City. Download their app. You can borrow an umbrella and return it to another one of their machines. Normally the Hyatt offers valet parking. When we were staying during the pandemic, valet parking was closed, but there's ample self-parking down in the garage below. Actually, it's quite a huge parking structure, so it's plenty easy to do self-parking here. The elevators are these really fancy computerized elevators. They have these touch screens. You select your guest floor, you select your number, and then when you do that, it tells you to go to elevator C. And so as we go into elevator C, then we see right up here it says this is going to floor 23. And then when you go inside the elevator, there are no buttons at all. Pretty weird, but they've all been pretty fast to get to our rooms, so these systems work pretty well. In a slightly odd setup, ice is not on each floor, but it's on the 4th floor in the, interestingly enough, named Ice Room with 3 ice machines in it. That same floor as the ice machines is also home to a small but well-appointed, bright and cheery gym. And then just next to the gym is a small outdoor swimming pool with a small hot tub right next to it. Just outside the lobby elevators, they have this thing called the Hyatt Nature Hike Challenge. I came in here and realized it is the emergency exit stairs that they've painted to look like a nature walk. It's pretty funny because on every staircase landing, there's some other naturesque painting like this one here that tells you to please feed the bears. Now that we've seen everything around the hotel, let's check out the inside of one of the rooms where there will hopefully be no bears. This is room 2308 on the 23rd floor. Come on in, let me show you around. As you come inside the room, this is a room with 2 double beds. Traveling Princess enjoys these beds, so does Topher. Nice, interesting headboard, lighted headboards, some cool art back here. I'll be right back. Shooting with child actors, sometimes you need to take a break. Well, our Traveling Princess also really enjoys this chair. This is a great chair to sit out and enjoy the view. Probably nighttime you can't see much of it, but in the daytime it looks like this. Really nice view of the city down below. Coming back into the room, just on the other side of the room, we have a nice desk. I like this desk because you can see the view, you can see into the room. It's got a nice lamp here, you can make phone calls. And it's got a nice little power bank right here, so you can plug things in. Keeps the top of the desk clean. Power here and power here. Even an Ethernet cable if you need to plug in your internet and your Wi-Fi. Doesn't work also well. All right, let's come to the rest of the room here. As you can see down here, there's a dresser with 6 drawers. And the Traveling Princess is looking in just above it. Big screen television. They give free cribs for children, so they're kind of like a pack and play thing. Not the best crib in the world. We've had a hotel, but it is free. If we come and take a look over here, we've got some of the standard hotel things up here. You got the coffee maker, Starbucks coffee, ice bucket, some, what do we got here? Esca, natural Canadian water, and then just down below there, there is a small mini fridge, empty, just for you to put stuff in. And just to the left of the fridge here, we've got the hotel's closet. Do we get any lights when we turn it on? Nope, just a dark one, but it's got a couple of robes, a big umbrella, which is important. People call Vancouver Raincouver because it rains so much. Final room, I'm going to show you the bathroom right behind us. Good size, recently remodeled bathroom, a mirror that looks like it should be lighted, but doesn't seem to be, but there is a small mirror here, which is lighted if you need some bright lights in here. Reasonable sized toilet, and then it has a bathtub with a, with a rain head up here. This is odd. Usually there would be like a shower head here or a handheld. This one does not have any of that. The only shower in this is the rain head up here. Soaps in this place are Pharmacopoeia Natural Body Care. Well, now that we've seen everything around the hotel and inside of the hotel room, it's time for our Topher review. On a scale of 1 to 5 Tophers, we rate hotels, and then we're going to tell you the pros and the cons. So, Topher, how many Tophers does this hotel get?
3.5 Tophers!
That's right, 3.5 Tophers. So now let's talk about the pros and the cons of why this hotel got 3.5 Tophers. And by the way, in the background, this is the view out at night, so we're looking out at Vancouver Central Business District from the 23rd floor. So pros, super great location of this Hyatt Regency Vancouver, right next to the SkyTrain station, walking distance to Gastown, walking distance to the Convention Center, walking distance to Robson Street, walking distance to pretty much everything in the city center of Vancouver, and then close to that train. So that's awesome. The service here has also been fantastic. We've loved the staff, particularly at breakfast. I love the people who work in the breakfast restaurant for Mosaic. As a globalist, our breakfast benefit was $35 of free food per person. I really liked the Eggs Benedict. That was pretty good. I had that like 3 days in a row. Apple juice, also really great. OC Girl liked the pancakes with, yes, the Canadian maple syrup, of course. So because it's the pandemic, lots of things in the hotel were closed while the restaurant was open. They weren't doing a breakfast buffet. Instead, they were doing order off the menu. I do also want to point one thing I like about the Mosaic breakfast restaurant, really nice views of the city center, so you can eat with a view. The corner table, I think, is definitely one of the best. Also, the Regency Club was still not operating, which is the club for elite members to get, you know, breakfast, snacks, hors d'oeuvres, things like that. That's kind of a bummer as a Hyatt elite member, but I get it with everything else that's going on. Also, valet parking currently not available, only self-parking, but I like the self-parking option, and actually I love the parking garage downstairs. Even though this is a 1970s built hotel, that parking garage downstairs is really nice and not something you often see in hotels of this vintage. Now, speaking of hotels of this vintage, it's a hotel built in the 70s, but it doesn't feel that way. It was recently renovated. The rooms feel nice. It has that Hyatt clean throughout the hotel. I will say the lobby is a bit uninspiring and kind of dark. That's probably my least favorite part of the hotel. But coming up into the room, clean, comfortable, nice, everything you would want in a Hyatt hotel. And most importantly of all, we slept really well in the room. The beds were soft, the room was quiet, well, except when she was running around at night, but other than that, it's pretty good. It could be because the hotel didn't have many people in it right now, and the room adjacent to us actually has a balcony. Nobody's been out there, so I think with the pandemic, there's just few people staying here, so that also probably helped keep it pretty quiet. I also liked the ice machines. I wish they were on every floor, but it worked out okay just hopping down to the 4th floor and coming back up. The elevator is pretty quick just to go down there and come back up to the room. Okay, so the Traveling Princess brought Topher back to talk about the cons of the hotel. So biggest con of the hotel, the Traveling Princess has brought Topher back to talk about the cons of the hotel. So the biggest con of the hotel is that although it's nice and clean, it's just fairly uninspiring. There's nothing particularly memorable, particularly amazing about this hotel. It's nice, it's good. There's just nothing that sets it like way over the top. Also, on the note of the air conditioning, while it worked reasonably well, it never got really cold. I like it cold at night. I would set the air conditioning to 66 degrees Fahrenheit. I think as cold as it probably got was 72. Something about hotels and cold places, often their air conditioning never gets really cold. So I wish the air conditioning in this room worked a little bit better. The other con is the bathroom. Frankly, I did not like the showers in the bathroom at all. The rain head just on the top was not that great. Traveling Princess didn't like it either. It was hard to shower like that. By the way, who's this that we've got here? This is our new buddy, Cappy, that we got from the Capilano Suspension Bridge Park, hence his name is Cappy. So, would we stay at this hotel again? We stayed here on Hyatt free nights certificate, so we absolutely would. Also, as a Globalist member, the parking was free, so everything was free about this stay, so it's an easy no-brainer at that Hyatt category level. And the last thing you need to know if you're planning to stay here is if you're coming to Vancouver, you might enjoy some of our other videos on Vancouver. You'll see a link to the playlist right here, including our other hotel review of the Fairmont Vancouver Airport Hotel, where we stayed on our last night here because we had an early flight out. So as usual, we won't say goodbye because we'll see you in the next video.